Hi, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be having an interview with Lily Garay and for devotionweekly.com. Thanks for visiting, Lily Garay.
Excited.
I am too. So let's get started.
Cool.
Question number one, who is your inspiration?
So that's a really tricky one because I have many inspirations. Um, but I would have to say right now my biggest inspiration is my mom because she is so awesome. Like she teaches and she writes and she's an entrepreneur and she's so giving like to her family and to the community. And you can definitely say that like she speaks more through her actions than through her words. And to me, that's super inspirational because obviously actions always mean more than words. And for me, just like growing up, realizing that like, I never had that pressure of like, oh, you're a woman, like you can't do this. Like, no, my mom has always broken that stigma of like, I don't know. I don't know what you would say, what you would call it, but my mom is just such a powerful individual and just really inspirational to me personally.
Awesome answer. So question number two, who is your favorite song artist?
Oh, that one's really hard. I think right now, like, as of this minute, I really like Flurry. It's Flurie. She used to like be on Hillsong United, I believe, their team, but she's just she writes from her soul, and like you can tell, like she writes about things that have happened to her or things that inspire her, and it's super real. And you know that her lyrics like aren't just these like meaningless things, and yeah, that's what I love about it. It's so deep, and it really inspires my writing to just kind of take it a step further and go a little bit deeper and be a little bit more vulnerable with my stuff.
That's awesome. And question number three, this was submitted through our site by Jessica Whitehead. And Jessica asked, what is your favorite book?
Besides the Bible, I really like this book called Live Before You Die. It's by Daniel Kalinda. It's Kolenda. And I'm actually in the process of reading it right now. I'm going through my first reading of it. And growing up, my favorite book was Little Women. But as I got older, I started reading more inspirational kinds of books. And this one by Daniel Kalinda is really awesome. It talks about calling and purpose and identity. And those are all subjects that I love to talk about and love to encourage people with. So it's really taught me a lot personally, like for what I can use for my life and then different things that I can use to inspire and encourage other people. So that's my favorite book right now.
That's great. And question number four, if time and money were no object, what would you be doing?
That's a really great question.
That's a tough one for a lot of people to answer.
It's really tough because, yeah, I get to do pretty much the only thing that I would add to my life right now is just traveling more. Like, it would be really nice to not have to worry about like hotel costs and travel costs. And not necessarily just to go take vacations, but like to go to LA to record or go to Nashville to record or go do a gig like anywhere and not have to worry about like, oh, I'm sorry, but you have to cover my travel expenses. And because sometimes that can be a lot for like certain venues and then they like can't hire you. And it's just like, oh, I missed out on this great opportunity because you couldn't like afford my travel costs. Because nowadays it costs so much money to like travel on a plane. Especially during like peak seasons. So if money were no question or object, then I would just be traveling way more.
That's awesome. That's a great answer. Question number five, what genre does your music fall under?
A lot of my music falls under the genre of pop / EDM / house, which EDM and house is electronic dance music, which is really cool. I love doing that. It's really fun because I get to record it the way that I would just normally sing it, and then somebody takes it and remixes it into like this cool song. And so I have like two different ways that I could sing the song, like depending on the venue. So I always think that's super fun. And then another one we could use is just like chill music. I don't know what you would call it, but it's just like very soft and acoustic, a lot of ballads. I love just taking my guitar, taking a cajon and recording that. I think it sounds so good and it's so soft. And I feel like you can hear the lyrics better when it's very minimal. And so for me, that's like my favorite kind of music to record. And then to perform as EDM. But yeah.
That's kind of like your song "My Cross." It's kind of
My cross is super chill. Literally, I just did a loop, drum loop, and then I recorded the guitar like in one take. So it's not like the guitar's chopped up, and it's very real, and it's very even with like mistakes and stuff like that. Like I think songs sound better when they're like an acoustic song. I think it sounds better when you just kind of do one take and not everything like sounds perfect according to like scientific standards. I just think it makes it more real and it's more touching that way for me personally.
Yeah, definitely. I think that a lot of people could relate to that. So how long have you been singing? This question was inspired by Chandler Whitehead.
My fave person in the world. I've been writing songs since I was 4, but like actually performing them and singing. I'd say performing my own songs since I was like 12 or something like that. Wow. And then singing just since I was like 8 or 9.
Wow, you started out early.
Yeah. And it wasn't like my parents pushed me or anything. Like it was just one of those things that I liked to do. And fortunately, like I had great parents and great mentors, and I had a lot of awesome adults in my life growing up, and they would give me like opportunities to go sing at their events and stuff. And like, even as a little kid, when you're kind of like not at your peak, people.
Uh-oh. I think we lost you there. Uh-oh. Are you there?
Cut off.
Yeah, cut off on my end too. Sorry about that. That was
Okay.
weird.
I think it's still recording, so we're good.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, well, this question was inspired by a song Mercy Me wrote back in 2000, and I think it froze again. Okay, something's not right. Yeah, it just cut out again. It's telling me here that the internet connection's unstable. Oh boy.
Yeah. All right, I think it's good now.
Yeah. This question was inspired by Mercy Me. He wrote this song back in 2003. But this is actually in the context. And the question is, when you get to heaven, who is the first person you want to meet?
That's really hard. There's so many people that I want to meet. I think obviously I'd want to meet Jesus first because it's Jesus.
Yeah. We're not just talking about anybody.
Yeah. Jesus is a big one.
Yeah.
And then I'd love to meet Lydia. She is, I believe her story isn't either. I think it's in Acts or Romans. But she's just really inspirational to me. Like I remember reading about her when I was younger, and just like the fact that she was a woman and she was an entrepreneur. She like sold purple cloth. And that to me is so cool that like you find a woman in the Bible and she's like doing pretty awesome stuff with her life. So I think I'd really love to meet her. So I want to name my first daughter after her. So
that's awesome. So question number 8 is, what do you do with your spare time?
Oh, what is spare time?
Exactly.
No. If we're talking about time where like I can just chill, like where I don't have to do anything, then I'm probably taking a nap because I probably really need it because I probably have only had like 6 or 4 hours of sleep and a really long work day. But when I'm not doing music or work, I love going to like the farmer's market or finding like a cool coffee shop. There's this really cool shop downtown called Sweet House, and it's a cupcake shop. And it's really fun. Like it's really cute inside, and you can bring your book and you can like get some cupcakes, and it's so good. And funny story, like I was there 2 weeks ago or something, and the lady was like, you should just get a job here because then you could at least get a discount on all the cupcakes that you buy. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, how are you going to call me out like that in front of this massive line? But it was true. I hadn't realized it. That was like my third or fourth time, like in a span of 5 days. I was like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
That's I don't know if I would do that. Well, the second question was inspired again by Chandler Whitehead.
Mhm.
If there is anyone you would like to thank for your musical achievements, who would it be?
Cynthia Murray. She just always comes to mind when people are like, who would you like to inspire musically? And she sings. I mean, it's not her thing. Like, she's an amazing singer, like, very talented person, but, like, she's a lawyer. Like, that's really her thing. She's also the Divine Women of Destiny founder, which is a ministry that helps women all over the world. But she just, like, had me sing at her conferences when I was really little, like 11 or 12. And I mean, I'm sure if there were videos of me singing, like, I'd be embarrassed because it's not like I was a really good singer. I mean, I feel like now I'm a good singer because I practiced, like, had vocal lessons, I've, matured, but man, she just always gave me an opportunity to, like, speak or sing. So I would say Cynthia Murray. She's just a really great person.
Yeah, I know her well.
Yeah.
And our last question, this one wasn't inspired, but actually sent in by Chandler Whitehead. And he says, when you play a song or sing for people, how do you feel?
It feels amazing. It's really cool because it's really cool and it's really humbling. I was just telling this to my friend, like, earlier this week. I was like, it's really humbling being a singer because you realize, like, God gives you these words and this melody, and he gives you, like, this really awesome job of inspiring people and encouraging people through your music. And you can choose to do that and do something great with it, or you can choose to just, like, ignore it and pass up the opportunity, whatever. Like, if God calls you but you don't answer, like, it's up to you, So it's really humbling, and it's really amazing just to, when you hear, like, people's reactions afterwards of, like, how that song touched them or how they were inspired by it. Like, it just makes you feel like, man, God can take somebody like me who isn't the most perfect person in the world, who isn't the most glamorous person in the world, but he can take me and use me for his glory. I think that is so cool. And so when you're up there, it just makes the experience so much, like, greater because you realize you're singing to God, and by singing to God, other people are touched by it and inspired by it. So I think it's a really cool feeling. And then obviously when, like, people actually know the song that you're singing. One time I was in Honduras and I wrote a theme song for, like, this event, and everybody learned it. And there was, like, 8,000 people singing my song.
Wow.
The coolest thing ever. I was like, okay, so it's not a Taylor Swift crowd where there's, like, 100,000 people, but 8,000 people still kind of a lot. And it was so cool to hear them singing my song. And it was just like, God, you're so awesome. Like, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Well, that's a great question. I didn't really think it'd be that great, but it's a lot better than I had anticipated it would be.
Yeah,
so I'm so glad that we got to have this question and answer. And if you could click on Lily Garay's link right underneath in the description, or you can visit her YouTube page, and I think that will be right there on the screen, right above her head. And you can also visit our main site. Our main site is down underneath again in the description, or it'll be somewhere on the screen. I'm not going to do any of that, so I don't know where it's going to be, but we'll see. Again, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, guys. Bye.